All right, you guys, I am on my way to the movie theater. I am going to check out the new film Sound of Freedom because I have just been hearing so much about it. I hear that it's exposing and talking about a lot of different truths, so if that's the case, you know I'm here for it. I am going to check it out with one of my friends and I will keep you updated. Guys, my friend Madi, short for Madi Saleh. That's the one. Should be interesting. Anything about this movie?
You know what? I have not. A little was good, but
Same.
yeah, like too much more. I haven't really been on like social media or anything like that.
We shall see.
It was good. It was really good.
We got a lot to talk about. So yeah, it was a good movie, but we have got to talk about some red flags. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that this video is brought to you by Virtuous by Veronica Boutique. That is my faith-based clothing line inspired by the Proverbs 31 woman. There you'll find matching sets, dresses, jumpsuits, lashes, and so much more. Plus, if you use discount code FREEDOM, a portion of the proceeds from this video will go towards an organization combating child trafficking. Once again, that's discount code FREEDOM at bbvboutique.com. And now, back to the video. As mentioned earlier, I really didn't have too much information about Sound of Freedom before I went to watch it. I hadn't seen the trailer, nor had I done any in-depth research before watching it. I just didn't want to ruin the ending for myself, and so I waited till after to start really digging. Just in case you were on the same boat as me and don't really know what the film is about, according to Angel Studios, which is the studio that put the film together, Sound of Freedom is a true story film that exposes the darkness of child trafficking. Sound of Freedom is inspired by the experiences of Tim Ballard, a former Homeland Security agent who spent the latter part of his career rescuing child victims of human trafficking. Sound of Freedom tells in part the story of Ballard's journey to Colombia to save a kidnapped brother and sister. The film is rated PG-13 because honestly, in my opinion, there is no way to make a movie about trafficking children at a PG level. It doesn't go together. It's not graphic, doesn't show anything. It kind of leaves more to the imagination, which in my opinion can be even worse. It's not cussing, but the content itself, it's something that is just, it's not for children. It's sad that children are experiencing what's going on in the movie, but it can definitely be traumatic for a child just watching. Fun fact is the person who played the secret agent in this movie also played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ film. Overall, I thought that Sound of Freedom was a really good film. To be able to create a thought-provoking film about trafficking children without completely traumatizing your audience and the actors and team involved in putting it together, that is commendable itself. I thought it did a good job of shining a light on a really big issue in the world that is often played down. I thought that it did a great job of really getting the conversation going in everyday households about the crisis that the world is in when it comes to all of the missing children and all of the children who are being trafficked. So that I will give it credit for. However, as much as I want to give it 5 stars, as much as I want to just hop on board and, fight the fight with Angel Studios, I have some questions. There are some red flags that stuck out to me that I think it's only right that we talk about. One thing that stuck out to me is the fact that even though this film appears to go against the grain, it is still a part of the mainstream media, which means it is controlled by Hollywood, satanic Hollywood. I remember reading through reports after I saw the film that said that the higher elites were so upset that this film was being released that they were doing everything in their power to block it. But me, just having all of the information that I have and just knowing how powerful the people at the top of the entertainment industry are, I know that if they didn't want a film out, it wouldn't be out. After hearing that, I went and checked some of my local showtimes. And keep in mind, I don't live in a super big city. There is a lot of neighboring small towns around me. There's one big city around me. And so I went online to check some of the showtimes, and even in the small towns at the theaters, there was at least 5 or 6 different showtimes per day. That made me think about, how are they reporting that people are having a hard time seeing the movie and that the elites are working to get the film out of theaters, when from my point of view, it's being shown everywhere. Like, anybody who wants to see it can. I haven't heard of anybody, not being able to see it. When I went and watched it, everything was just fine. So that really made me think, okay, to me, it kind of sounds like a marketing ploy aimed at people like you and I who are interested in the truth. For people like us, we believe that they are trying to silence anybody who is speaking the truth. So for them to come out and say, oh yeah, this movie is being silenced because it's exposing so much and yada yada, that will for sure get people like you and I to go watch it. And I did. I went and watched it. Sound of Freedom is a box office hit. Like, it came out at the same time as Disney's Indiana Jones, and it has already outranked that film by millions and millions of dollars. So to me, knowing what I know about the Hollywood industry and what it takes to be successful in Hollywood, the fact that the movie is raking in millions and millions of dollars, yet people are saying that nobody can watch it, and I don't know. To me, that sounded like a marketing ploy, which is why, to me, that was red flag number 1. I will say, though, that God does tell us that everything done in the dark will come to the light. And as powerful as the elites are on earth, they are not all powerful. So if God wants a message out, then he will get it out regardless of what anybody thinks. After watching it, like I said, I did think it was a good movie, but I don't really feel like it exposed anything. For me, none of the information was new. And I think that's where the problem lies. For someone who has never really paid attention to world issues or really looked into this kind of thing, it may have been like a new revelation for them. But for me, I was just like, are you going to give us the names of organizations? Are we going to be provided with some information about how we can fight back? When someone says expose, I'm looking for expose, like things that aren't already known. Let me know, The next red flag for me were just some of the people who were involved in the creation of Sound of Freedom, such as the producer. And then you have Mel Gibson, who has been a part of the industry since the 80s. He has shown us time and time again through symbolism who he pledges his allegiance to. You see him doing gestures that represent the all-seeing eye. You see him just doing a bunch that shows that he's in agreement with occultist leaders of the world. When I see people who are known to be OG puppets, OG in the sense that they've been in this industry for a long time, and knowing that that industry has no good intentions, I kind of have to wonder why those two are involved.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Our future is our children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
I don't know. All of those people involved, kind of made me think about it a little bit. Even Tim Ballard, the special agent who the film is based off, has been spotted in real life wearing symbols that seemingly pledge allegiance to Freemasonry and other occultism. In this photo, you can clearly see him wearing a tie that displays the square and compasses, which is one of the most recognized symbols in Freemasonry. To the regular eye, can appear harmless, but if you know, you know. I definitely recommend studying Freemasonry and some of the occult for yourself so that you're able to recognize these symbols when leaders and people in places of power start displaying them, so that you know exactly who they're pledging their allegiance to before you blindly follow them. That definitely stuck out to me when I saw Tim wearing that. And because he was a top agent, like national security, and you just don't make it to that level of success, in my opinion, without conforming to the agenda of these world leaders, which is a very dark agenda. The last red flag for me was the call to action that happened after the ending credits of the Sound of Freedom movie. At the very end, the main actor, Jim, comes out and he has this call to action for everybody to tell their friends and family about the movie, to encourage others to watch it. And if others couldn't afford to watch it, there was a call to action to purchase movie tickets or to send them a link to a website that would allow them to come out and watch the movie with donated tickets. So that sounds good inherently. After I thought about it, I wondered how that was going to help anybody besides the bank accounts of the people involved in this movie. I looked it up, and as mentioned earlier, this movie has made millions and millions of dollars. However, there has been no mention of any proceeds going to any organization that's really combating the trafficking of children. I feel like if this movie really wanted to make a change, it would do more than just tell us to come watch the movie and share the movie with your friends. I know some people are going to be like, why do we have to criticize everything? Why can't we just take this as a win? And we can. My answer to that is that we can. It can still be considered a win if people are doing more than just talking about it, and we're banding together and really making moves. That can be considered a win. Overall, I will say that even if Hollywood had the worst of intentions with putting this movie out, what the devil meant for bad, God can always turn around and make it good. I do believe that a lot of good can come from this movie. I hope this isn't the end of the exposés. To me, this movie really just scratched the surface. I hope that there will be future exposés that talk about all of the children on the Mexican and US border who are being trafficked. I hope that we start getting into world leaders and the people in Hollywood and these actors and singers and athletes who people look up to. I hope we start talking about their involvement in this trafficking crisis. I hope that we can get a complete list of names of people who visited and covered up Epstein Island. Like, let's go. If we want to talk about it, let's talk about it. So that's all I really have for right now. I would love to hear your thoughts. You saw the movie, comment below what you think about it. I was moved by it, but in hindsight, I thought it was only right to call out the red flag. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you see the same red flags as I did? As mentioned earlier, I do want to do my part. I just don't want to be another person who watches the movie and then just moves on from there. I have dedicated myself to finding at least one trustworthy organization that is combating trafficking and donating to them. My videos have so far all been sponsored by Virtuous by Veronica Boutique, which is again my faith-based clothing line. There you can find modest attire such as jackets, jumpsuits, matching sets, whatever you're looking for, we most likely have it. If you use the discount code FREEDOM, I will donate 10% of all proceeds to an organization combating this. Once I find a reputable and credible one, I will definitely let you guys know and send the funds there. Also, if you already know of one, I'm located in California, but I'm happy to donate to a national or even international charity. If you know of a credible one, definitely leave it in the comments because I will be reading them and I will be researching who I should donate to. So again, use discount code FREEDOM at checkout and 10% goes to stopping child trafficking. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.